Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Energy City Plugged In podcast, where we talk about the latest in news, sports, culture, and business in the Estevan area. The Energy City Plugged In podcast is sponsored by Estevan Mercury Publications, Estevan's #1 source for news since 1903. My name is David Wilberg, and I'm the editor for Estevan Mercury Publications. I have the pleasure of being joined today by a woman who kind of marks an Estevan first. Susan Colbow is the first local person to be the chair of TeleMiracle 42, the upcoming fundraiser that will be on March 3rd and 4th in Regina. So Susan, it's great to have you here today to talk about your background as a cadet as well as your involvement with TeleMiracle and the upcoming TeleMiracle 42.
Hello, David. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How are you?
I am good.
You've got to be excited for the TeleMiracle that's coming up soon?
Very excited. It's an exciting time of year for me.
Perfect. Well, certainly TeleMiracle. I'll be honest with you. Nothing makes me prouder to be in Saskatchewan than TeleMiracle. I think it's a fantastic event every year. I think the job that the Kinsmen and Kinettes do is outstanding. The entertainment's terrific. And the way in which the people of this province support TeleMiracle each year is a testament to what a great province we live in.
It is a great province, and the people never fail us. So it is a great thing that has been going on for 41 plus years. So looking forward to another great year.
So we want to get you in here and talk about you and the Kinettes and your involvement with the Kinettes and TeleMiracle itself. So the first question is, can I get some background on you?
Well, I was born and raised in Estevan, so came here and haven't left, and I love it here. I think it's a great place to be. I married my husband, Jim, and we've been married for 35, going on 36 years. We've got 2 daughters, and I've got 2 beautiful granddaughters, and a son-in-law, of course. Can't forget about him. He'll get mad at me. And I've been here all my life. I worked at the bank for 27 years. I work as a constituency assistant now, and do TeleMiracle stuff right now.
Well, we'll get to the TeleMiracle stuff in a few minutes. How did you become part of the Kinettes?
Well, actually, my mom and dad were Kinettes way back when. They joined the club, and they had so much fun in it. And when I got old enough, I just was too busy and didn't really think about joining the Kinettes. And then my boss at the bank was new to town, and so, of course, she wanted something to do. So she joined the Kinettes again, and she asked me out to a meeting once, so I went out to a meeting, and I thought, well, yeah, I should go out because Mom and Dad were Kinsmen and Kinettes, and I haven't been involved for years since they quit, so I just decided, why not? So I went out to a couple meetings with her, and here I am today.
Mind me asking how long ago that was?
I believe that was about 16 years ago that I went. Yeah, so 2002 would have been my first TeleMiracle.
Oh, perfect. So what do you enjoy about being a Kinette?
The volunteering. I love volunteering. It's just something that I do. The social aspect of it, the Kinettes try and go out and do something social every month. So we get together with all the lady Kinettes, and sometimes we do a joint thing and we get together with the Kinsmen as well. But it's just getting out and socializing and meeting new people, like new people to town. If they if they like to volunteer or have some time on their hand, they should come out. It was funny because when my daughter joined, she thought, oh, it's just a bunch of old ladies that are there, but it's not. It's a mixture of everybody, and there's more younger people. I'm the oldest one in the club, so if you consider me old, then yes, I guess we're a bunch of, but I'm actually the oldest one, and so it's just a good thing to do, to get out and find new people and give yourself something to do, other than, I know a lot of people are busy with their sports and their kids and stuff, but you need some you time. So it's something that you can do for yourself, and it helps out in the community when we go out and help.
How nice is it to see your daughter in the Kinettes and continue another generation of your family in the club?
It's exciting. I was glad that she came out. So she's 3rd generation. She's got 2 daughters, so I'm really hoping that maybe one of the two of them will decide that they want to be a Kinnett as well. And well, 4 generations of Kinnetts in the family. So it's nice that she came out and she really enjoys it as well. As far as I know, she's been in the club, I think, for about 5 years and has brought some of her friends into the club too. So I mean, it's not an old people club. It's, whatever age it is, you can come out. I think 19 is the youngest you can be. We've got university clubs in Regina and Saskatoon. So even if you're leaving town because you're young, you can still join clubs there as well. So it's a good thing for anybody to do.
You've done a lot in the community. The Kinnetts have done a lot in the community.
We have done a lot in the community. In conjunction with the Kinsmen, we've got the new outdoor rink over at the Kin Park there.
Fantastic addition to Estevan.
Yes, it is. There was a lot of work into that. So, yeah, the Kinsmen kind of got that going, and we jumped on board with them and have helped them out. We've done just recently, people have probably seen it or hopefully seen that we just give $65,000 to the hospital to revamp the surgery maternity unit. So that was very exciting. It's probably one of the biggest things that the Kinnetts have done for several years in here. So we've got the Canada Day fundraiser, or not the fundraiser, it's just a Canada Day thank you at the park.
Each year.
Yeah, at the park. We do a craft show every year. We just did a princess ball for cystic fibrosis. This is our 3rd annual one. So yeah, we try and get out into the community and help where we can. So very exciting.
When do the Kinnetts meet? In case anybody watching this podcast is interested in joining.
We meet on the first Monday of every month. So 7 o'clock at Estevan Diversified Services. We meet, we have a meeting. Sometimes we go for supper before. So again, social aspect, because some people have a tough time getting out. So if they know they have to go out for a meeting, they usually plan a babysitter. So we'll sometimes do a supper beforehand, and then we have our meeting, and then if we're done early, we socialize after. So first Monday of every month, 7 o'clock at Estevan Diversified Services.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Susan. When we get back after a break, we're going to be talking about the upcoming TeleMiracle 42, which Susan is the chairperson of. And welcome back. Joining me for our second segment is Susan Colbow, who is the chairperson for TeleMiracle 42, which is coming up March 3rd and 4th in Regina. And as mentioned off the top, she is the first person from Estevan to ever chair TeleMiracle. Now, you said your first TeleMiracle was in 2002. What do you remember about that first TeleMiracle?
That would have been TeleMiracle 26, I believe. And what I remember is walking into Kin Hall, and so the first one would have been in Regina that I had gone to. In Connexus is where we hosted, and downstairs is, we call it Kin Hall, is where all the volunteers gather and stuff. And I walked in there, and you see over 300 volunteers from all over the province that are there to help out for this 20-hour telethon. And I just walked in, and it was just like, wow. Like, it's just crazy that there's this many people here, and I've never been before. So to see all of this and knowing that they're all volunteers, they've come from all over the province to come to TeleMiracle to help out with this. It's just, I watched it on TV, but until you're actually there, it's hard to describe the feeling that you get when you see so many people there for such a good cause. So it was amazing.
What do you enjoy about TeleMiracle?
Again, like I talked about, meeting new people with the Kinnett Club. Well, same thing. Like, these are people from all over Saskatchewan that you get to meet. And I think, and some people say this often, is like, you can go anywhere in Saskatchewan and there's going to be somebody that you know there because you belong to kin. And all the little towns have Kinsmen Kinnett clubs. And if you're ever in trouble, have car problems or anything, I know we've had a couple of Kinnetts from other areas of the province actually message and say, hey, like, I'm in trouble, I need a place to stay for the night, like I have car trouble, or someone's in the hospital in town here. And we've actually had people do that and come here, and knowing that you can probably go almost any little town in Saskatchewan and you would know somebody there. So being at TeleMiracle, meeting new people, finding out where they're from, getting to know them, it's just amazing. And it's fun, and it's a feel-good weekend. Like when you go there, it's so, because you know you're there for a good cause. Everybody's happy, everybody's in a good mood, and so it's just something that is amazing. And unless you're there, it's really hard to tell you what it's like to do that and be there for that 20 hours. And a lot of people don't sleep. I need a little bit of sleep, so I do try to grab 3 or 4 hours of sleep, but for the most part there are a lot of people who don't sleep and are there for the full 20 hours.
How'd you get to be on the TeleMiracle executive?
Well, a few years ago, about 6 years ago, I'd been going to TeleMiracle for quite a long time, and I just thought, the position, what happens is after TeleMiracle is all this money goes somewhere. It goes to the Kinsmen Foundation, and the Kinsmen Foundation go through applications and distribute the money to people who are applying for it. So we've got a board of directors. So a position came up on the board of directors, and I thought, well, I wonder what happens after TeleMiracle. So it's always, first weekend in March, you go to TeleMiracle, you raise millions of dollars, and then what happens? So I found myself sitting on the foundation board and did that for 2 years, talked to people about their applications, their life, their family, what they need, their struggles, stuff like that. And so I sat on the board for 2 years. I talked to these people, and it's just like, this is kind of nice. And when I was done my term, position came open on the TeleMiracle 38 committee, and so I was asked to sit on that. And so I did, and I really enjoyed it. And then I sat on a second committee in 40, and then I thought, I wonder if I can do this. So you have to apply for it. So I applied for it, went through the interview, and it's just almost like a job. So you have to go through an interview process, and they talk to everybody, and then they pick the best candidate, and here I am. So I guess I was the best candidate at the time. So yeah.
You've got a pretty good team around you, or you've got a really good team for this year's TeleMiracle between, the executive and the board and all the volunteers from all over the province.
I do. Every chair picks their own committee for the corporate donors and for food services and for transportation. Like, there's a lot of things that people don't think of when the show goes on, because all you see is what's in behind the camera there. But so I've actually got 2 other Kinette members, Jacinda Drew and Janelle Leddington from the Estevan Kinette Club, and James Jones from the Estevan Kinsmen Club are all on my committee. I've got 3 from the Weyburn Club, a couple from Assiniboia, Regina, Saskatoon. So I've got quite a bit of committee, and yes, I think they're a really good committee. Every chair says they've got the best committee, but really I've got the best committee. So, but yeah, so I've got a lot of help that is behind me, and I'm almost just the face of TeleMiracle because they're doing such a great job. I don't really have to get involved in what they're doing.
I remember at the end of last year's TeleMiracle, you were on stage and introduced you as the new TeleMiracle chair. And one of the things you did was you brought forward your logo for what is now this year's TeleMiracle. Can I get some, I've actually got the pin
Yep.
for the logo, with the logo. Can I get some background on the logo that you chose for this year?
You can, and I'll try not to cry about it because it is really, every chair chooses a logo that will be representative of TeleMiracle for the year. So when I did get chosen for this position, it was only a couple of months after my grandma passed away. And so the wings are for my grandma, and there have been a lot of people, including some in Estevan, that have been benefited from TeleMiracle that are no longer with us. So I consider them our TeleMiracle angels. So that's what the wings are for. Purple and green are my granddaughter's favorite colors, so that's where they come from. And my mom is a 2-time breast cancer survivor, so the pink 42 is for my mom. And she was actually born in 1942, so it just seems that it was meant to be my year.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Susan. When we'll take one more break, and when we come back, we will talk a little bit more about the upcoming TeleMiracle, as well as a little bit more about what Susan does when she's not planning one of the biggest events in the province. And welcome back for one final segment with Susan Colbow of Estevan, who is the chair for the TeleMiracle 42 committee. So, Susan, how are plans going for this year's TeleMiracle?
They are going really well. We've been doing this for 41 plus years, so it's kind of a finely tuned wheel, so we need to reinvent it. So there's little things that go behind the scene that people don't ever see or ever know about that, there are little changes that happen, but for the most part, everything's going to be the same. We're going to have some great talent again this year, Saskatchewan talent and national cast. So as far as I know, everything is on time and on schedule, and we're all good to go.
How was the launch last month in Saskatoon and Regina?
It was really good. We had some amazing Saskatchewan talent. So in November, we always have auditions for Saskatchewan talent, and we had over 130 acts perform from Saskatchewan, and then over 60 of them are chosen to go to be on the show. And out of those, they choose a couple that from Saskatoon and a couple from Regina, and then they perform when we have our kickoff event. So we had the kickoff breakfast in Saskatoon, and we had a kickoff afternoon event, I guess, in Regina, and we had some of the recipients were there to talk about TeleMiracle and how we've helped them in their lives, and then we've had some cast members there, so it was really good, and it hopefully got people thinking around the province that, hey, it's TeleMiracle time. I guess it's time to start fundraising.
I think that was about 4 weeks ago now. Is that when it kind of sinks in that, geez, this is getting really close?
It is, and as people say, oh, that's only like a couple weeks away, and it's just like, oh no, butterflies in my stomach, and it's just like, yes, it is, but I've got a really good committee, and they are doing their jobs, and that's all we can ask for, so just gonna enjoy the ride.
Actually, it kind of was my next question. Is it hard to believe that it's only a couple of weeks away?
It is so hard to believe that it's only a couple weeks away. You start planning for this a lot of time in advance, and it's just like the 18 months, because you sit on the previous committee, you sit on that committee for a year, and then it's your year. So it has been a couple of years in the making, and it's hard to believe that there's only 2 weeks left or 3 weeks left, and then it's going to be over with it.
Why should people support TeleMiracle?
Because it benefits the people of Saskatchewan. So there are a lot of good charities in Saskatchewan, and I'm not saying support TeleMiracle over any other one of them, but there are so many people. There's families, there's communities, there's organizations that all benefit from TeleMiracle. You see the small van driving around Estevan, and it's got a TeleMiracle logo on it. You go to the hospital, you see the Kidney Foundation, or the Kidney Dialysis Unit was got money from TeleMiracle. All the beds in Unit A just last year got, or 2016, got all brand new beds in Unit A, benefits from TeleMiracle. There are people personally that I can't talk about, but there are people personally in Estevan who have benefited from TeleMiracle. So we do businesses or like nonprofit organizations, we help them, we help people personally, we help hospitals. So the money raised in Saskatchewan stays here in Saskatchewan and helps people in Saskatchewan. So it's a great thing, and I honestly don't know how people that don't live in Saskatchewan do it. Like, Saskatchewan will pay for your procedure. So if you're going to Saskatoon for doctor's appointments, or you have to have surgery or something, you can get there, and the province will pay for the operation and everything, but who's going to pay for you to drive there if you have to be there for a month or whatever? You have to have a place to live, you have to have food to eat, you have to have gas to drive around with. So the province doesn't pay for that, but TeleMiracle will. So there is an application process that you have to go through and a board of directors, but if you can't afford it, where are you going to go? Where are you going to turn to? Who's going to help you? So that's what TeleMiracle is here when you've got nobody else to help you, nowhere else to turn. TeleMiracle will be there.
I don't think it's a stretch to say that most people in this province know of somebody who has benefited from TeleMiracle, or they know somebody who has benefited from TeleMiracle. They might not know that that person has benefited from the funds that are raised through TeleMiracle, but they do know somebody who has benefited.
Yeah, when We went to Tisdale to get the kids that put the tote board numbers up on there. So we go to the student leadership conference and you talk to them. Some kids have no idea what TeleMiracle is because they watch Netflix and they don't watch TV. And the other one is just like, oh yeah, my grandpa got money from TeleMiracle, or yeah, my aunt did. So it's a little bit of everything. Some people's young kids, it's just like, oh yeah, this person or that person, or even a fellow student got help from TeleMiracle. So they're probably within an arm's length of somebody that has been benefited from TeleMiracle. So there are a lot of people, and some people like to share those stories and some people don't want them to know, and that's completely fine. You don't have to, but there are people there that have been helped, and it's just a good cause to contribute or to donate to.
Absolutely. So finally, as mentioned earlier, we want to talk to you about what you do in your free time, which I think in about 3 weeks, you're probably going to have a lot more of.
I will have a lot more time in 3 weeks.
What do you like to do when you're not working?
I like to play ball. I still play ladies fastball. We got a new camper last year, so I like to go camping, traveling whenever the time permits. It hasn't in the last couple of years, but I like to travel and spend time with my family and my granddaughters, and and volunteer, of course. Like, it's just a part of me. It's just something that I do. And even when TeleMiracle is over, I will still find something to volunteer for. Kinettes will continue to volunteer. I'm on the board of directors at Diversified Services, so, I volunteer there as well. So wherever I'm needed. So if I do have some time, and I will still continue to volunteer.
Excellent. Well, is there anything else that you would like to add that we may not have covered regarding TeleMiracle or being a Kinette in general?
I don't think so. I think we've covered a lot of things. It's a great thing to belong to the Kin Canada. We're all over Canada, so if anybody is interested in coming out, you don't have to commit. You can come out, see what we're about. We can take you to TeleMiracle. That'll hook anybody. But it's a good organization to belong to, and TeleMiracle is a great thing to donate to. So I know times are tough for a lot of people, and that's why TeleMiracle is even more important now, is because times are rough and people can't afford what they could afford. So if you can afford, please give what you can and help the people that can't afford to. We don't want them to miss out on appointments or something health-wise because they can't afford to do it. It's terrible if that happens. So that's why we're here. We're here to help. So if you can help, please help.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Susan. I certainly, to borrow the TeleMiracle tagline, I certainly hope people will ring those phones on March 3rd and 4th during TeleMiracle 42 in Regina. So again, Susan, thank you for joining us today. We wish you the best of luck. I want to thank producer William Ackery for his work today, because without him, we wouldn't be able to do this show. And I want to thank Estevan Mercury Publications, Estevan's #1 source for news since 1903, for sponsoring this. And I want to thank everybody for listening or watching today to this podcast. You can watch this podcast on the Estevan Mercury's YouTube page, or you can watch it on our website at www.estevanmercury.ca. Thanks everybody again for listening and watching, and we'll talk to you next time.